Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from Dino Code Academy. So in this lecture we are going to design the XML part of our application. So let's start this lecture. So first open your Android Studio. So you can see that I have already created an empty activity project inside the Android Studio and I name my project as Guess the Word App. So once you created an empty activity project, you will get two files. The first is activity main and the second is mainActivity.kt, which is short for Kotlin. Now I have created this project with the Kotlin support. So before I start coding, first open this module app.gradle file and make a little room. And now we need to add some dependencies. So let me copy my dependency from the text file. So here is my dependencies. And I'm just going to paste it inside it. So you can see there it is giving us a warning, means a red line. So we need to change the version. Just replace it with 28.00. And similarly with this design support library as well, replace it. So just click on this sync now. So now the Gradle will start sync our project. Now the sync is completed. Now it's time to switch back to the activity main.xml file. And from there first just switch to the text mode of the activity file and just click on this project tab so that you can see everything, and just delete this text view because I don't want to use, and just change this constraint layout to linear layout. Just hit a tab key. So now our layout is changed, and make it the orientation as vertical. Just remove this line because it is useless. Then switch to the design view of the XML, and from there just click on this text and place one text view inside this linear layout and then the other text view. So first I am going to design these two text view. So you can see it is actually the code. So first give the background to the linear layout. So the best way to give the background is by pressing hashtag and then type 3 times 0 key. Then by click on the square button, so you can see a little window pop up. So from there you can select the color as per your choice. So I'm going to select this color that is look like nice. Just stick with this color. Also set the gravity to center, and then we need to change the design style for this text view, because right now these are displaying at the center of the screen. So first change the text size to 35 sp. And after that make the text style to bold. Then the other property I'm going to use the padding, not odding, it's actually a padding, and I'm going to give the padding as 30 dp. And after that I'm going to select the background color, and the best way to give the background color is by pressing 3 times 0. So I want a black background color and a text color to a hashtag 3 times F, and also the text alignment I want into center. Then the text I'm going to change it to the text to the correct answer. So this is the correct answer text view, and I'm also going to specify the ID. So the ID is already at the here at the bottom, so I just need to cut it here. I just need to paste it because I want my IDs at the top so that I can see it more quickly. Then type txt dot correct answer. So that's the correct answer ID. And similarly we need to copy all this style and paste it inside of this style text view as well. Just make the margin top. We want a margin from there. That's a margin top is around 20 dp, so that we can get a little room between all of them. Then the text alignment property, that is this one, I just forget it, just paste it here, so the text will be displayed as center. So for this one I don't want a padding, I just want the padding to be around 10 dp, not 30 dp. So that looks nice. Now it's time to place more text view. So for that I'm going to click on this design view and just from there just search for the card view, and now card view will be displayed because we have added the card view dependency and also the design dependency. Just place it card view at the top, and inside of this card view place another text view. After placing the text, just click on this text view so that you can get the XML mode, and from there you can see just make it little formatting. This is a newer version of Android Studio. It format the code more appropriately, but I don't like the formatting of the Android Studio. Just from there change it to wrap content And after that, just copy the same code from the top, that is text size to text alignment, paste it inside of this, and the width is going to be the match parent, and height is also going to be a match parent. But we don't want margin property, we want a margin property from the card view point of view, because the card view is the parent layout of our this text view. This is a child of this card view. Now we don't want the background of this text view, so just delete it. Instead of, I want a text color to be black. That's it for the coding of our third text view. Now again, just click on this design editor and again search for the card view. Then select this card view and place it inside the linear layout hierarchy. And inside of this card view, just drag the edit text, which is a plain text, inside of this card view. Then again switch back to the text mode of the XML. Then from there we will start designing our edit text. So first click on this and make it into wrap content. After that, copy the code of the margin top and paste it here. This the margin top from is around 20 dp. Then click on this match parent, and also for this one match parent. Then specify the corner radius. You can experiment with the card corner radius. I am going to give it as 10 dp. Let's copy the same code again and paste it inside this corner radius. Now it's time to specify the padding to this edit text. So I'm going to specify the padding around 20 dp. So you can see now it's time to copy the same code. So from text size to alignment, just copy it and paste it inside of this. Now padding is 2 times, so just remove this one because we don't want this one padding. After that, make this into the hint, because we don't want to user to just simply press the back button key to delete the present text, because hint allows the user to what user need to enter. So we want to user to enter your text, a message that allows the user, so the user can know what thing user need to enter inside this edit text, your text. And after that, this text view actually shows what? It actually shows the random question, a random text, or you can say that a random question. So I'm going to type here random. So after that, we need to specify the ID. So again, I'm going to cut the ID and I'm going to place the ID at the top, because I like to keep my IDs at the top of the every view. So I'll type for short for ET, that is for edit text, and I will type it here is user input. After that, I need to specify the ID to this one. So again, I'm going to cut this ID from here and just place it here and just type it here txt, which is short for text view, and give the ID as question container, because that will display the question, or you can say that the phrase, or you can say the random text, or whatever you want to say. So I'm going to type it as question container, because it will display a question, and here we will actually allow the user to guess the particular word, whatever user guess, and here user will type it, and later on we want to display 3 buttons. So it's time to display here 3 buttons. So for that, just switch back to the design view again. So just minimize it, and from there just click on this layouts, and from there select this linear layout horizontal and drag it outside the linear layout, means outside the track view. So here you go, we have placed the linear layout. Now it's time to place the button inside of this linear layout. So simply select the button, drag it one button, then the another one, and then the another one. Just click on this text view and just cut the ID from there and paste it at the top. So first cut the ID and just paste it here. This is the latest Android Studio version. It actually makes the ID at the center, not at the center, it actually makes the ID at a different place. I don't like this type of arrangement. Let's cut the ID and paste it at the top. So this is a layout weight property, and here's the ID is actually missing for this button. Just copy it and paste it here. And this should be of our BT, which is for show. This is our BT ID for check. And this is for BT for next. So just type the corresponding name along with their ID. That is, this button is the next button. This is for check. And this one is for show. So now it's time to design this button. So first, make the margin top to this linear layout around 50 dp. So I'm going to make the margin top around 50 dp. Oh, actually I typed the wrong one. I need to type it inside the linear layout. So after that, we need to type the add equal to the top, and from there type the margin top around 100 dp, so that everything lies inside the center. We want this card view to be from margin top around 100 dp. So I just want it to be 50 dp around something, guys. And similarly for another text tray as well, another card view. So this is the margin top. Let's paste it. So yeah, now it's look nice. Now again, I need to expand the size of this one. So text size should be around 40 sp, and that's it. Padding, I'm going to increase it to be little bit around 25. Next, time to design these buttons. So for this, just first type the code that is all caps. So text all caps, and I want to make it false. Then the second property that we want is actually text style to be bold, and then text size I want to be 25 sp. Then the second thing we want is the text color. So I will type hashtag FFF, which is short for white. Then the background color I want to be giving as hashtag 000, and then click on this. So I make it to red. Now similarly, I just copy this code from there and paste it inside of this one, and similarly for this one. Now for the mid one, it looks like same. To create differentiation, I am going to change the color of this check to little lighter. You can see the little darker than the other ones. So I just make it a little darker so that you can differentiate that these are three separate buttons. Then again, it's time to increase the padding. So just type here padding, and I just want to want 10 dp. Similarly for this one. So that's all about the designing. We have given the ID. We also specify the ID to the user input, and also for our text view container, which is a question container. Now it's giving us an warning because we should need to use string resources. That is the hard-coded way. You can use the string.xml file to put the string, but for the demonstration purpose, I'm just going to stick with that. I have already teach you in the basic lectures of the Android Studio that how you can use the string.xml file to keep your strings in one place, so that if you later on you can make changes, you can easily delete it. Now it's time to run the application to see that everything is working fine or not. So I'm going to run this application into my virtual emulator that running API level 28, which is the Android 9. So simply hit OK. So you can see that our application is up and running, but you can see that our buttons are not displaying. So this is because we have used too much padding, and inside the virtual emulator this thing is not working fine. So we need to fix it. So I'm going to remove the padding from the margin tops, means the margin top property. So I'm going to decrease the margin top properties from all of the text. So first this text view, that is margin top, is around 100 dp, so I'm going to make it as 20 dp, and then again I'm trying to run the application. So now you can see that it's showing the button as well. This is because the device screen of the Android is not same as you are thinking, and also this is action bar, but in design editor you can't see the action bar. So if we remove the action bar, then we can see pretty much same property. So first I'm going to remove this action bar, so we'll get a little bit more room. And now if I again try to build the application, so now you can see that it's showing the space as well. So after that, and also you can see that the action bar is not displaying. So now we can do what? Just increase the margin top property to around 60 dp, because that will be enough for us. Because this is the entire screen is displaying. Not there is a bottom navigation menu. Also there is action bar is missing. So you can see that now the application layout looks like fine. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome, this is Vijay from Code Academy. So in this lecture we are going to fetch all the views inside our main activity file. So let's start this lecture. So head back to Android Studio. So in previous lecture we have already created the design of our application. That is a guess the word application. So if you are new, then please watch the previous video, because the things will not become clear. So in this lecture we are going to fetch all the IDs inside our activity file. So just close this style.xml file and click on this project tab and just click on this main activity file. So first I'm going to type here one command, that is declaring for the views. And first we will use a latent var, and then the first variable, that is txt, that is for write answer. Then press a colon and then use a text view. In Kotlin we don't require a semicolon. Then again latent var, then type txt, and the variable name is question container, and it is also of text view. Then again latent var, and there is a variable which is txt. Then the variable which is for user input, that is edit text. So I'm going to type et and then type here user input, and then again colon, and it is of type edit text. Then hit a tab key. Then for our three buttons, then again type latent var, and the first is XLBT show, then semicolon, and type it here a button. Hit a tab key. Then I'm going to press Ctrl D 2 times and just change it here to check, and then again here I'm going to type it here next. Now instead of the onCreate method, we need to initialize all these views ID. So first type txt, that is for write answer, and equals to, that is for find view by ID, then r.id. And then type txt, that is correct answer. Now the right answer is not, actually the right answer is not the ID. So first just go to the activity XML. So this is the correct answer, and this one will be the right answer. So I'm going to type txt, and here type it as write an answer. Now it's time to see write. Just type it here txt, still not displaying the right answer variable ID. Just copy this one and paste it here. Okay, so I have made a mistake. This is not a text, the ID is existed here. This is because the Android Studio version, the most probably the older version, displays the ID at the top, so that's why the problem exists, guys. It's so much confusing to work with new Android Studio. So again, write answer. Now everything works fine. So you can see, again I try to build it so that Gradle doesn't give me error when my project gets completed. So the new version of Android Studio actually creates trouble for me because I'm actually working on my laptop. in which the version of the Android Studio is older. So in this system I have updated the Android Studio version, and it creates tons of problem for me because the ID actually is showing at the bottom of the view. In previous version the ID is shown at the top, so I need to just addicted with that to see the ID at the top, and it creates a problem. So sorry for that if I make typos in my video, so just forget it. Now start coding again. So txt, and that's at this time the correct answer equals to find view by ID, and again for r dot id dot and then txt, that is for correct answer. And again text view, which is for question container, then equals to find view by ID, then r dot id dot and then here type for the txt and then the question container. Then initialize all of our user input. So type here et, that is user input, is equal to find view by ID, and again for r dot id dot and then here what the ID is actually et, user input, then press the enter key. Then for buttons, the first is bt show. So the first is bt show is equal to find view by ID, and again r dot id dot and the ID is actually bt show. Then again for bt next is equal to find view by ID, then r dot id dot, there is a bt and that is for next. And similarly for our bt show, no, this time for bt check because show is already done. Then find view by ID, then r dot id dot, that is for bt check. So that's all. We have initialized all of our IDs. Now it's time to display type of one method. So it's time to run the application to see that everything is working fine. So I'm going to run it into my virtual emulator. So you can see that our application is up and running and it runs fine. Just minimize it. So what I'm going to do, just at the end of the onCreate, here we are going to declare one method. So type of one, which is a function keyword, and then here I'm going to name my method as mix words, and then start the basis of the method, and this method will accept one parameter. So I'm going to type here word, and here I'm going to use a string, and again there's a colon, and then again I'm going to use a string. So this method will return a string. Now inside of this mix words method, we are going to declare a variable. So simply type val, then the name of the variable, which is word, equals to arrays dot, so first select the arrays, then dot as list, and hit a tab key. Then before inside the array list, make it into string, and hit the tab key. Then inside of this brackets, simply type words, that is a parameter, which is this one. So complete it with the word. Then after that type split, and then start a braces, and into that just dot, and here you need to type 2 regex, hit an enter key. Then after that just simply type drop, last while, and inside of this open and closing braces, inside of this just start opening and closing braces, then type it dot is empty, hit an enter key, and after that dot to type array. So that's the code that we want for this. Now if you don't need to know everything about, this is the code that I got from the Stack Overflow site. So just I copy it and paste it here. So it will actually does what? It actually splits the text and make it into the reverse order. So while learning programming, you don't need to learn everything in a detail, because sometimes you only need to know the functionality of the code. So this code will does what? It actually gets the arrays and split into different characters. So later on we can randomly arrange the character. Now writing further logic so that we can shuffle the collections. So for that I'm going to type collections. Just simply type here collections dot shuffle. Then here we need to pass the parameter, that is word. hit a tab key, and then again press enter key and then type a where at this time, then type mixed, the variable name that you want to give, you can name it whatever you want, then equals to double quotes. Then after that I am going to use a for each loop and press I key, then a colon, and then not colon, I am going to use the in keyword, then after that I am going to use a word, then opening and closing braces of the for loop, and inside of this just type here mixed, this is a plus equals to I, at a tab key, then at the end of the for loop I am going to return mixed. The variable that we want is a mixed. So that marks the completion of our code for the mixed words. So that's all about the coding for this lecture. In this lecture we have initialized all of our views and also add a method that is mixed word, which will basically takes the argument as a word and then split into different characters so that we can use those characters and shuffle them and display it to our text view. So we're going to add all this functionality in our upcoming videos. Welcome, this is Vijay from Dino Code Academy, and this is a part 4 of our Guess the Word application development series. So if you are not watched the previous part, then please watch the previous part so that you can follow along. So head back to Android Studio. Then what I'm going to do, first I'm going to here make a little room and I'm going to declare some variables. So the first that I'm going to declare a variable is a type array. So first I'm writing here a comment that is declaring. For declaring array inside the Kotlin, we use a internal keyword. So simply type internal, then press enter key, and then type a var, then the name of your array. So I'm going to name my array as days equals to then array of. So we want array of. This is the third one. Then press enter key, and inside of this we will specify our array elements. So the best way to specify the array elements is inside the quotes. So the first, I will just simply use the days of week name. So the Sunday, you can use whatever you want, like whatever color names, city names, or whatever you want to compare. I'm just with the simple demo, so I'm just using a week names, that is Monday, Tuesday, Sunday. So I'm quickly typing it, then I will be continuing the video. So here you can see that I have typed all the name of the week, that is 7 day. So in place of these weekday names, you can use your friend's name or a city names, maybe the calendar year name or anything else that you want. So now it's time to declare 2 more variables, that is by using a latent var keyword. So latent var, and it's of type string, so it's a day variable. The name of the variable is day and it's of type string. Then again latent var, which is a random variable. Simply press enter key, that's it. So that's the declaration of all of our variables. So write a comment here so that it will help us later on if we want to debug the code or maybe make some modification inside the code, declaring all other variables. Now inside the onCreate, we need to initialize the random variable. So just add the end of the button initialization of IDs. Just here type a command initialize. Press a tab key. So it's actually name is incorrect. I made a typo in the name. So just make it here M. And here also change this into M equals to. Then here simply it's equal to the random class. That's it. Now it's time to add the actual logic. So here I will be writing a comment actual logic. So just here type day equals to and type here days, which is the name of our array variable. Then simply enter, and inside of this just open array brackets, that is this square brackets, and type here a random dot next int, and inside of next int just simply pass days dot size. Then in the next line just set this value to text view question container. So simply type text view question container dot set text, So instead of using set text, we will simply use a property in Kotlin, that is text equals to mixed words. And inside of mixed word, we need to pass the parameter, that is name, because this method mixed word will accept a one parameter. You can see it's of type string. After doing that, we need to set the listener to the button. So the first button in which we are going to set the listener is a button check. And here we will write a command set the listener. So simply type bt check, hit a tab key, then set on click listener. Then we don't. So that's a simple way of setting the on click listener. Then press enter key. Then here we need to make a comparison. So simply use if statement and et user input dot text dot toString, not to, we want a toString dot equals to day, comma, ignore case, that is a ignore case, which is ignore case equals to true. If that is the case, we want to open the opening and closing brackets of the for the if statement block. Then here we will use a toast statement, toast dot, so just time toast dot make text, and inside of this we need to pass the context. So simply type this at the rate main activity, then comma, then your message that you want to display. So I would simply type you got it. Then comma, then simply type toast dot length short, and then at the end dot show method need to be called. So that's a toast statement. You can call it here a dialog box. So later on I will be doing that. Then for the else statement, simply opening and closing braces for else statement. Let's remove these quotes. We don't want these quotes. It's actually typed mistakenly. Then copy this toast statement and paste it inside this else block, and you failed. So that's all for the check condition. Now it's time to implement. It's time to run the application to see the code in action, because the only thing is left, we need to set the listener to this two button, that is show and next. So before doing that, I'm going to run the application so that I can see whether everything is working fine or not. So simply hit on this run button. So I'm going to run this application into my virtual emulator. So hit a OK key. So here you go, our application is up and running. You can see that the word is displaying, that is YDU, and which is a short for Sunday. So I'm going to here type a simple SS, and then if I click on the check, so you can say you failed. If I select again, and I will type here SUNDAY, which is for Sunday, and then click on the check button, so you can say you got it. So now our application is running fine. So that's all about this lecture. So in this lecture we have implemented the functionality to display a random text inside the text view, and then after that we are going to allow the user to type the text in the edit text, and then comparing that text on a click of a check button. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome, this is Vijay from Dynacode Academy. So this is a part 5 of our Guess the Word application app development series. So in this lecture we are going to add the functionality to our rest of the buttons, that is next button and show button. So let's start this lecture. So head back to your Android Studio. So let me explain in detail what we are going to do in this lecture. So in this lecture we are going to implement the functionality for this show button and this next button. So when the user click on this next button, then we want this random text to be changed to the another one. And when user click on the show button, so that user can get the answer inside of this text view, and also we want to display these two text views. So first I'm going to make these two text views to invisible. So I'm going to type here visibility, that is the property called visibility. So just simply select the invisible. And similarly for this text view as well, click on it and then type here visibility, and simply type here visibility to invisible. Then after doing that, just simply click on the main activity, and here at the end of this button check, just press enter. So this is the end of this set on click listener for the check button. So at the end of this button check, simply type BT. This is the show button. So first I am going to, that is the BT next, set the listener to the, so here we need to simply type set on click listener. Then I am also going to type a one comment. Set the listener to the next button. Now inside of this next button, we want to display the day text again. So for that we have already write a code. So this is the actual logic. So just copy it and paste it inside this next button. Because we don't again want to display the text, split the text and then generate a random text and mix the words. So that's the thing we want to do. Also when the user click on this next button, we want to make this text again invisible, because when the user click on the show button, this both the text view will become visible, but after that there is no case to make it again invisible. So what I mean, just I'm going to type it first. So I'm just leaving it first, then I will be showing you what I mean. So again I'm going to type it here, button show, and set the listener to this button. So set on click listener, and here again I'm going to type a one comment at the top. That is set the listener to the show button. Now inside of the show button, just first type txt, that is the correct answer, dot visibility, that is this one, hit the enter key, equals to, that is a property in Kotlin, and simply type view dot visible. And at the end, similarly we need to do for the text right answer, and hit a enter key, dot visibility, that is visibility equals to again view dot visible. And then after that we need to set the right answer to the right text view. So for that, just here type a comment, set the right answer to the right text view. To the txt right answer, and simply hit an enter key and type here txt text right answer dot text property, that is text, and is equal to day. So that's all the coding for our button show and also for button next. Now it's time to run the application to see the code in action, and I also want to show you that how the problem exists when we click on the show button again. So let's try to build the application into my virtual emulator. So here you can see that our application is up and running. So you can see that our text view are actually invisible, and this is actually a short for the Thursday. So if I click on the next, then you can see that we got another random text. If I click on the again next, then you can see that we are going. So again I am going to Sunday. So I will type here SUNDAY Sunday. If I click on this check button, so you can see that you got it. So if I click on this again next, so you can see that now I am in a trouble. So if I click on this next button again, so we want to make this edit text to empty, and also if I click on the show button, then you can see that the Tuesday is the correct answer displayed, but when I click on the next, then this Tuesday is still appearing, because we want to make it invisible when we click on this next button. So to handle all these cases, we need to add the code at the end of this set on click listener. So to do that, first we need to do what? We need to first handle it user input dot set text, or you can even use a, so I'm just going to call a method called set text and make it here empty. So that's a very easiest way to make the edit text empty. Then again for txt right answer dot visibility equals to, again type here view dot invisible. Then similar for txt correct answer, press enter key and dot visibility equals to view dot invisible. So that's all the coding that will handle the cases for the problem that we are facing while running the application. Now it's time to run the application again into virtual emulator. So to see that everything is working fine. So here you can see that our application is running. So you can see that if I click on this show button, so it will show the correct answer, that is Sunday. And if I click on this next button, so it will gives us the next, and now you can see that the text will become invisible again. So if I again click on this next, and here I will type a Friday and just click on the check, so you can see that you got it. And if I click on this next, so you can see that the edit text will also become empty. And again if I click on this show button, so you can see that the correct answer is Wednesday. And if I click on this next, then you can see that again a Tuesday is displaying. So if I type here Tuesday and just click for the check, so you got it, and then click on this next button. So if I click on this next button, you can see that the Saturday is displaying. And again if I click it here and type it here, now you can modify this application as per your requirement. So when the user click on this check button, instead of showing toast, you can display here a custom dialog, or also you can increase the score, and also you can limit this show button usage by just 2, 3 or 4, so that user can on also this next button. So you can take this application to the next level. So in the upcoming lecture, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the custom dialog, or maybe if you request for the other features, I will implement it. So that's all about this lecture, and that's all about the coding for this application. In the next lecture, I will be just adding a simple custom dialog. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from Dino Code Academy. So in this lecture, we are going to add the correct dialog to our Guess the Word application. So if you not watched the previous lecture, then I highly recommend you to watch the previous lecture. Then you will get a complete idea what's going on in this application. So let's start this lecture. So switch back to your Android Studio. So here you can see that this is the application so far we have built it. Now in this lecture, we are going to create a correct dialog. Now in this lecture, what we want to do, so when the user click on this check button, so instead of showing a toast message, that is this one, we want to show a dialog. So for do that, let's create a custom resource file. So simply click on this project. To create a custom dialog, just simply click on this project tab, then then expand your app level directory, then rest directory, then click on this rest directory, then click on this layout folder, and then go to new, and then select the layout resource file. Then from there, just select the root layout to linear layout, because we are going to use a linear layout. Then name your dialog as correct dialog. Then simply press enter. So you can see that now we got a new XML resource file. Just inside, and the linear layout that we have used is a vertical linear layout. Just click on this text, and now I'm going to click on this project tab so that you can see everything. Then inside of this linear layout, I'm going to create a one text view. So to do that, I'm just go to again design view of the XML, and then select the one text view, drag it inside the linear layout. Then go to the text, and from there first we write some code to make the linear layout little compact, means smaller. So instead of height and width to match parent, I'm going to give it as 300 dp, that is 300 dp width, and also 300 dp its height. Then I'm going to specify the layout gravity, that is this one, to center. Now you can see that our linear layout is actually appearing at the center of the screen. Also, I want to give the color. So instead of color, I want to give the background color. And the background color is actually hashtag 3xF, and just changing the color to light brown. That's okay. You can experiment with the color what you want. Then cut its ID to at the top of the text view. Now I want to cover this text view, so I'm going to initialize this text view inside of the another linear layout. So to do that, just here I'm going to declare another linear layout. So just simply type linear layout, then height is equal to match parent and width is equal to match parent. Just press enter key, and just Ctrl plus Alt plus L to format the code. Then after that, cut this text view and paste it inside the linear layout. So now it's time to change the width of this linear layout, height of this linear layout to match parent to wrap content. Now it's time to modify the style of this text view. So first I'm text all caps is equal to false. And after that I'm going to type text style is equal to bold. Then after that text. Then again the next property that we are going to use is the text size. It should be of 40 sp. And again specify the text alignment. Text alignment is equal to center. Then from padding, not padding, from margin, we are going to specify margin top to 20 dp. And after that margin bottom is around 20 dp as well. Then give it the background color of this linear layout, that is the topmost linear layout, not topmost, that the parent of this text view, that is this one, this linear layout. Give it the background color hashtag FFF and just select the color that you like. So I'm going to stick with this color. Then after that orientation vertical again, not horizontal, vertical, and padding from bottom is around 5 dp. You can see that now the dialog is taking its shape. We are going to now, it's time to change the text, so just simply type it here correct. You can change it whatever you want. And also text color should be hashtag 000, or you can play it with the color. So I'm just going to select the black color. So that's okay. Now the layout is taking in shape. We also want a one button and also a text view that display message click on continue. So to do that, just again go to the design view and then select a one text view and drag it at the linear layout, and then again select a button and drag it at the linear layout level directory. That is a root element directory. And again cut the ID from there, paste it at the top of the text view, and also the ID from there, which is a button ID, and paste it at the top of the text view. Button. So now it's time to apply the same code. So I'm going to copy the code which is I have copied here. Now simply to modify the content of the text view means the style. So I'm going to copy the same code, that is this one. So copy it from here and paste it inside this text view. Then for the color, I'm going to just select the little gray color. That's the color that I want, and the text size should be 30 sp. Then the text property, I'm going to change it to click on continue. And after that this button, so just apply the same code to the button as well, and increase the margin top to 40 dp. So 40 dp, and the margin bottom, just remove the margin bottom because margin bottom is not necessary. So you can see that it looks like little bit taking shape. Now the background color of the button, that's a hashtag FFF, and then specify the background color. Stick with that and just change the text to continue, and also change the ID of the button to VT confirm dialog. So that's the thing. Now it's all done. So you can experiment with the dialog. I'm just going to give you the just demo. You can also create the design of this dialog inside the Adobe XD or maybe the Figma, then import it all the assets and create the dialog in a different way. Means the dialog should be look more nice if we use the graphical software. Let's start doing inside the main activity. So switch to main activity. Now it's time to call the dialog. So first remove this toast message. So the first thing here, we are going to call the dialog. So first create a variable called val, then dialog, that is dialog equals to, then here I simply call a class name, that is a dialog. That is third one, press enter key. Then inside of this dialog, specify the context, that is this @main activity, because in Kotlin we use @ to specify the context along with the main activity. Then by using the dialog variable, that is this one, by using dialog variable, dialog dot set content view, So the first thing that we want is the set content view. Then you need to specify the layout. So r dot layout dot correct dialog. So the send content view method takes a parameter where the dialog is actually stored. So it is actually stored in the rest directory, then under the layout, and then inside the layout directory we have our correct dialog.xml file. Let's close it, project tab, again press enter key, and then here we need to declare a variable another, that is val, which is a bt, that is a bt height equals to, and here type dialog dot find by the id, and then type it. Then inside here first you need to typecast it into button, and then specify where our button is actually located, means the button is actually present inside the correct dialog. So we want to fetch this id, that is bt confirm dialog. So we want to fetch this id, then here r dot id dot, and then paste the id name, and after that with the use of the dialog variable name, that is dialog dot show, call a show method. So it will actually show the dialog. Then after that we want to handle the click, means bt hide. When we click on the bt hide button, so dialog should be disappear. So to do that we need to set the listener to the button. So for just simply type bt hide dot set on click listener. Then inside of this listener code we will type dialog dot dismiss. So we hit a tab key. Now our code is completed. Now it's time to run the application to see the code in action. So if I click on, so I'm going to run my application into my virtual emulator. So hit OK and wait for the Gradle to build the project. So you can see that our application is now up and running. So if I click on this edit text and type a code that is Friday, means a text. So if I click on this check button, so you can see that the correct dialog box is now appearing. So if I click on this continue, but you can see that the problem is the edit text is not will become empty, and also the content of this text view is not changed. And one more problem, if I click on this show button, and again if I click on this next button, means again if I click on the show button, so it will show the correct answer. So if I click on this Tuesday and click on this check button again, so you can see that the correct dialog box is now appearing. But if I click on this continue button, then you can see that these two text is still visible, and also the content of this text is not changed, and also I want to this edit text to be empty, so that the user doesn't need to press the back key to make it empty or again click on this next button. So it should be done automatically when we click on the continue button. So to do that we need to fix this bug. So we need to write some code to fix this bug. So at the end of this dialog.dismiss button, just first copy this code that will change the content of the text view, that is this text view content, means the new question will be appeared with this code. And also we want to make the edit text to empty, and also visibility of the text view right answer and text view correct answer text view to be invisible. Just copy this code from here and paste it inside this block of the set on click listener, where we set the listener to the button hide. Then it's time to run the application again. So just click on run button, click OK, and wait for the Gradle to build the project again for us. Then you can see that our application is now again up and running. So if I click on this, that's a Friday. Now if I click on this back button, again if I click on this show, so you can see that the correct answer is show, Friday is showing. So if I click on this check button, now the dialog box is appear, and if I click on continue, you can see that both the text view will become invisible, and also the content of this edit text is become empty, and also the content of this text view change. Now you can make this application to more interactive by adding some animations or by using some handler to change the code after 1 second or maybe 2 seconds with some animation. So I can do this all features for you if you want. Just simply email me if you want these kinds of features. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from DynoCode Academy. So in this lecture we are going to build a simple calculator application inside the Android Studio by using Kotlin. So let's start this lecture. So head back to your Android Studio. So I'm going to develop this application from the scratch, starting with the new project creation inside the Android Studio. So you can see that I'm using an Android Studio version 3.3.2. So for creating a new project, just click on the start a new Android Studio project, a new dialog box will open. From there, you need to select an empty activity. You can select whatever activity you want. There are lots of activities, but for the calculator application, I'm going to use this empty activity. Then click on Next. Then from there, you can name your application and also choose the location where you want to save your application. So I'm going to save it into C. Just click it, and here I will type here calculator. Then hit OK. Inside of this calculator, just click OK. Then I'm going to specify my name of the application to simple calculator. Also select the language to Kotlin because we are using a Kotlin for this project. Now I'm selecting the minimum API level 25, that is Nougat, to use the most latest feature of the Android and Android Studio. Now I don't want any use X artifacts libraries in Android, that is Android X artifacts, and the project will support instant apps. So I don't want these two options. Just uncheck it and simply click on this finish button and wait for the Gradle to build your project. So you can see that now our project is successfully built. So when you create an empty activity project by using Kotlin inside the Android Studio, you will get two files. The first is activity main.xml and the second is mainActivity.kt, which is a Kotlin extension for Kotlin projects. Now first we need to create the design of our application, that is a simple calculator application in which we are going to perform only 4 operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. For that we need to edit text and one text view for the result displaying and the 4 buttons that will perform the all of arithmetic operations. So simply click on this activity main.xml and click on this project window so that you can see everything. The first thing that I want is a text view. Now this text view is actually used to display the result, so I'm going to make it at the little top, and here just I specify the text to result. After that, just specify the second property, that is text color. So I'm going to give the text color to hashtag FFF, which is for white, and also specify the text style to bold, and also specify the text size, that is all. And here I'm going to specify the text size to 40 sp. And you can see that the text is appearing little bigger. Now the next thing that I want is to change the background color of the constraint layout. So I'm going to give the background color of the constraint layout to hashtag FFF. Now after that, by selecting here, I can change the color to this. So I'm going to stick with this color. Simply hit outside then the color will be shown to your screen. Then I'm going to click on this design tab. Then from there I'm going to select some buttons and some edit text and place it inside this activity screen. Now this activity screen is a graphical component in which the user can interact. Now before moving forward, I'm going to just click on this project tab, just expand this rest directory and then this value directory. Just click on this style.xml file. Then from there, I want to change a style of my application. That is, I don't want an action bar. So I will simply type here no action bar. So that's pretty much done. Now just close this style.xml file, and again we are in the activity main.xml file. Just click on this project tab so that you can see everything. Now what I want to do, just first click on this text and select here from plain text and just drag it inside the constraint layout. You can see it's very easy. Then again select another edit text, but before that just change the ID of this edit text. So this is the ID of the edit text. Just simply cut it from here and paste it at the top. Now you can see that it's giving us underline as red, giving us an error that because the constraint of this edit text is not set inside the constraint layout. So I'm going to do that, but first I will specify the ID, that is et first num. So I will type first num, which is short for first number. Then again I'm going to click on this design tab, and again I'm going to select another plain text and drag it inside this constraint layout. Similarly, click on this text button so that you can get inside the text editor of the XML. Just press it here, enter, and again enter. Just cut this ID from there and paste it at the top of the edit text so that the IDs are clearly visible to us. Then again type it here et and then second num. So that's the ID. Now it's time to set the constraints, but before that setting the constraint, I'm going to place more elements inside this activity screen. Now it's time to place the buttons. So just select the buttons from the palette and then select the button and drag it at the center of the screen. That is an activity. Then again select the button, which is the second button, drag it at the center of the screen. Then again select the third button, drag it at the center of the screen, and then again select the button, drag it at the center of the screen. Now it's time to switch to the text mode of the XML editor. Just select the button and then first specify the ID. We also want to specify the ID of this text view. Just type here ID, just press tab key and then type here txt. Then again click on this button tab, that is the button, and here just simply press enter key and then again enter key. First just format the code first, then I will be typing quickly. Just cut this ID from here and paste it at the top. Then change the ID to BT divide. Then similarly change the ID of this button to, let's simply change the ID of this button to BT multiply. Then for the second button, cut it and paste it here. Now this is a new version of the Android Studio that actually displays the ID at the bottom of the GUI. In previous version, the ID actually displayed at the top. So I have the habit to actually see the IDs at the top. So that's why I actually specify the ID at the top so that it will make easy for me to understand the code more quickly. And again, cut down from this ID from here and paste it at the top. And simply type it here BT and just type it here add. So that's all the IDs of the UIs are actually done. Now this technique, just specifying the ID first and then set the constraint if you are using a constraint layout, saves a couple of minutes. Now it's time to set the constraint. So switch to the design editor of the XML, then select this steady text and click it here, and click it here. And for this one, click it here and just drag it here. So I'm going to quickly do this, then I will be continuing the video. So you can see that now I have set all the constraint of these UI elements. Now it's time to switch to the text view. So here you can see that now we have only one error, that is this one for this button. Now the error is gone. Now it's time to modify the code so that they will look little awesome, because now they are actually seems very simple. So to do that, just first select the edit text and here I will type the first property, that is text size, that is should be of 30 sp. And then again the next property that I want is a text style, which is bold. And again the next property that I want is text all caps, which I will set to false. Then background, which is the background color. So background, which is used to give the background color, hashtag 3 times 0. Then I will change the background color to pure white, and I also specify the padding. I will specify the padding and I will specify it here 10 dp. Then again I want to change the alignment of the text to be center. Then copy the same code and paste it inside this edit text as well. Now both of them are looking same. Now just change this text property to hint and type it here enter second number. So I will name it as enter second now, which is short for number. Then similarly for this one, change it to hint and type here. So that's all about for our edit text and for text view. Now it's time for changing the code for our buttons. So I'm going to just select the button, that is button add, and press enter key, and here I'm going to paste the same code. Now the first thing that I want to change is the width to be match parent. The next thing that I want to change is actually the text to be add. also I want to set the background color to be, so that's the background color I want, and I also want to change the text color to be pure white. So that's the thing I want. Then I'm going to copy the same code till text size, from text size to text color. Just copy the same code and paste it inside the second button. Then remove this comment, not comment, remove this text property and change it here to subtract. And similarly for this one, change it to multiply, and then paste the code that we have copied from the second button. Just remove this text property and also make this width to match parent. And similarly for this one, make this width to match parent as well. That's the ID is actually here, divide. So first change it to divide, the text property. Then again press the enter key at the end of the divide line and then paste the same code. Then remove this text property. Now you can see that inside the preview of the Android Studio, the things are not looks as much as we have typed the code. Now the background color is actually disappeared. This is because the new version of this Android Studio 3.3.2 has lot of bugs. So this is one of the bugs that it actually doesn't preview properly. So now we need to change the width of this button to match parent. So just select the wrap content and remove it and type match parent. So now the designing of our application is actually done. So it's time to run the application to see that everything is working fine or not. So I'm going to run this application into my virtual emulator, that running API 28, that is Android 9, which is an Android Pie version. Simply hit OK. So here you can see that our application is now up and running, but you can see that the divide button is actually goes below. It is not visible properly because there is tons of empty spaces at the top is present. So we need to make modifications. So just minimize it and just select this edit text and make it little top. And also select this one, make it a little above. Now it's time to run the application again to see the code in action. So here you can see that our application is now up and running. So you can see that enter first num, enter second num, result, and the rest our buttons are displaying properly. So the basic layout of our application is done. And the one thing that I want to also change, just click on this project tab and open the color.xml file. Just switch back to this color. So I want to click on this and just I want to copy this color from here and paste it at this here. Now I want to change the alignment of this edit text to default one because I don't want to make it center because it don't look too good. So I just want to change it again, and I also want to change the alignment of this edit text as well. So the text alignment, just change it again. So you can see that now it gives us one warning. So it's saying that the view is not constrained. So now the error is actually gone. That is enter first num, enter second num. So now it's time to run the application again to see that everything is working fine or not. So you can see that our application has bugs because the constraint is actually changed. So I want to again fix the problem. So now you can see that our application is up and running. So you can see that the layout looks nice. I have to make little modification to the layout. Now it's time to fetch all the views inside the main activity. So let's click on this main activity. On here at the top, I'm going to first declare some variables. So just by pressing enter, I make some space. Then here type first let int, that is let int var, then the name of your button variable. So the first button is bt add, then colon, then extends to button, that is button, button. The class, then press enter, and again press let int var, tab key, then again the next name of the button, that is bt sub for the subtraction, then again button. So I'm going to press 2 times Ctrl D. It will duplicate the code for us, and then here I will write bt multiply, then here I will change it to bt divide. Now it's time to declare the variable for our edit text. So again typing latent var, and here I will name my first edit text as et, then extends it to edit text. Then again pressing Ctrl D, so just change the name here to et second. That is second, not name, it's actually a num, which is for number. Then here I also need to change it for number. Then the result variable, which is a text view, so just again typing here latent var, then the text view, so I'm going to name it a txt result. Now it's time to initialize all of these views inside the onCreate method. So let's do that. So first, the first button is bt add, find view by id, then r dot id dot, and then the bt add. So this is the simplest way, which is almost similar to our Java view. Then again at the top I'm going to press 3 times Ctrl D to duplicate the code. Then here I'm going to change it to bt sub. So here at the top is bt sub, then here I will change the id to bt subtract. Now I can change, see the first id, that it is bt, yes it is bt subtract. And here bt multiply, and here also change it to bt multiply, and then change it to bt divide, and there also change it to bt divide. Now it's time to initialize our edit text. So type it here et first num equals to find view by id, then r dot id dot, and then type it here et, which is first num, and then press enter key, then type it here second num, that is et second num, equals to find view by id, then r dot id dot, and then here type et second num. Press enter key, then our last variable, which is the last text, that is a txt result equals to, oh, so my keyboard is new, that's why I have not a problem while typing the code. So r dot id dot, come on, that's new keyboard, txt result. So that's all, the initialization of the views is done, and also at the top we have declared all of our new variables. Now it's time to set the listener. So first we need to implement the, so I'm going to type it here view, you type it here view dot on click listener. So first I need to press alt enter, add it here, alt enter, so it will import the class, then here it's a capital C, so that's the second option it gives us, implement member. So this is the onCreate that we want to implement, so I'm going to cut it here from and paste it at the below of the onCreate, then remove this to do because I don't want this to do to be there. Then inside of this Kotlin we use when, and then start the brackets and then the body of when, and inside of this we use v.id. That's a property because in Kotlin we use lots of properties. And again press enter, so you can see that only save null, so just press it, surround with null check. So it actually, Kotlin has a very strict rule for null check exceptions. So r.id, now here we don't use dot, we use bt add, that is a add, but inside of this switch case we use a arrow operator. This is not a switch case, that in switch case we use arrow operator, then we need to start a block. Then again I'm going to copy this code to 4 more times, paste it, paste it, paste it. So now changing it to subtract, so simply I will type here subtract because we are actually getting the id, not sub. Then here I will type multiply, then the last one is divide. So that's the thing that we want to do. Now it's time to declare some variables at the top and make it into integers. So for that, I'm going to first check for the empty edit text value. So first type if text utils. So here I will type text utils dot is empty. That's a method that we are using. Et first num dot. So instead of using get text, we can use a direct property that is called text dot toString and dot. It's actually not two, it's actually toString. So here is go. Now at the end, we also want to check it another text. So I'm using an AND operator, which is a logical AND operator. Then again text utils dot is empty. And again text utils dot is empty. Then after that, inside of this, let's type it here et second num. Then again the property that is text. Because in Kotlin we don't use get text, we can directly use a property then to string. That's the second one that we want. Press enter key. So when the values of both edit text is null, then we can use a toast statement. So I will type it here toast. So that's the way we use a toast statement. Then inside of the else, this all code will be executed. So I will type it here else and start the block of the else. Then cut it all the code from there. Just check it where the when is body is ended. So here is actually if ended. Just cut all the code and paste it inside this else block. So now we can actually write a code to fetch the values of our both of the edit text and convert it into integer. So to do that, I'm typing here a val, then the num1, which is a variable name. So num1 equals to, which is short for variable number 1. Then I use a wrapper class that is integer dot parse int, and here I will specify et first num dot text, which is a get text method property, because in Kotlin we directly use, and again reminding you, then again toString, not to, we want a toString, so that's a toString. So if it is value now what is this code will done, it's actually fetch the value of the edit text, convert it into string. After converting it into string, then it will convert the integer value through this method into integer by using parse int mechanism. So at the end I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate the code, and then here changing it to num2, and also change the edit text value to edit text second num. Now we get both of the values. Now it's time to use those values inside this block. So first I will type here val. There is val, and here I will type first result a. Result a is equal to num1 plus num2, because we want to perform the addition. So first type num1, then plus, then again type here num2. After that, we need to set the value of the result to our text view result variable. So to do that, just simply type text result dot text property. You can also use a set text method, but it is not recommended. It's better to use a text property that is text and equals to result a. So I have pressed 2 times shift key. That's why the pop-up appear. So type it here result a dot to string, because we need to convert it into string, because otherwise we will get an error. Then after that, we need to copy this code to make it the development faster. Just type it, paste it here, and also paste it here. Now this is a variable name. So here we can use a variable s, and here I can use a variable m, which is for multiply, and then here I can use a variable d for divide. And again press here m, not 2 times m, it's just a single time m, and that's the last one s. Now our coding is done. We have now set the, now only thing is left, we need to set the listener to our buttons, because we are right now not set the listener to our button. So to that, just here I will setting the listener to the button. So first I will write a command set the, here I left the spelling set. So first I will type bit add. It doesn't matter which you want, but I will just do it in the set on click listener. So that's one we want. Note this one. We want a bracket one. Just remove it and pass it here. The context that is this. Then make it duplicate by pressing Ctrl D 3 times and then again type it here subtract, that is sub, and again here multiply. Then the last one is divide. So everything is now done. Now it's time to run the application to see the code in action. So let's try build the project inside our virtual emulator. So I'm going to run it into my virtual emulator that's running a API level 28, which is a no-code. So click OK. Now it will take time to build the project. So I'm going to continue the video again. So here you can see that our application is now up and running. So I'm going to enter the first number, that is 2, and the second number is also 2. Let's press the back button. So you can see that now the result is 4 is displaying, subtraction result. So when clicking subtract, it doesn't perform the another operations. So it's giving us a problem. So that's a problem, guys. We have not changed the symbols. So here I just need to change it to minus. Then here I need to change it to multiply. And then here I need to change it to divide. So that's a problem in our application. Again try to run the application to my virtual emulator. Now you can see that our application is up and running again. So I'm going to type it here 55, then again here I will type it here 10 and press the back button. So you can see that 65 result minus 45 multiply 550, and when I divide it, so I get 5. So now our calculator application is up and running. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from DynoCode Academy. So in this lecture we are going to create a new empty activity project inside the Android Studio by using a Kotlin support. Yes, we are going to use a Kotlin to build this long story app from the scratch. So without wasting our time, let's start this lecture. So here you can see that I am using an Android Studio version 3.4. So to start a new project, just click on the Start a New Android Studio project and make sure you are connected with the internet. Now a new dialog box will pop up, or you can see that the window. Now from there you need to select the empty activity and then click on Next. A new screen will appear. Now here you can name your application. Like I am going to name my application as Long Story App. So I am using a camel case typing in which the first letter of the word is capital and then the second word, then the third. You can use the spaces as well, but I prefer to the camel case typing. So my package name is going to be DynoCode Academy Long Story App. So that's my package name. You can name it whatever you want, because right now I am not going to deploy my project to the Play Store. Now the location of is actually C, where the new projects, like a new YouTube projects is directory exists, and the name of application is Long Story App. Now we need a Kotlin support, so change it here from Kotlin. And the minimum API level, I'm going to use a API 25, which is a no-code. And your app will run on approximately 14.2% of the devices. So I just want to use latest feature in my application. Now I'm not going to use the instant support and the Android X artifacts. Just leave this unchecked and click on Finish. Now Gradle will start building your project. And one thing, and make sure that you are connected with the internet, because you can see that Kotlin new version is actually downloading some new files and the syncing is in progress. So I'm going to fast forward the video, then I will continue the video. So here you go. Now you can see that our project is successfully created. So I'm going to click on this minimize button, that is a hide button. And once you create the empty activity project by using a Kotlin support, you will get two files. The first is activity main.xml and the second is mainActivity.kt, which is a extension for the Kotlin files. And you can see that here Long Story App, which is the name of our application, is appearing at the title bar. So when I click on expand this REST directory, so you can see that activity main.xml file exists under the REST directory under layout directory. And one thing we also need to do, we need to paste a one dependency. So double click on your build.gradle file, that is a module app level.gradle file, open it. So I'm going to click on this project tab, then so that you can see everything clearly. Then I'm going to minimize it, and I have already pasted a dependency in my text file. You can Google it for this dependency. That is a circular view dependency, com github, and you will get a source code of this project on my blog where you can quickly copy and paste and develop the application. So I'm going to paste it at the end of this dependency, and you can see that now Gradle is asking for to sync the project, and this is because there is something changed in our build.gradle file. So that's why Gradle asking to sync the project so that everything works properly. So just click on this sync now button, and I'm going to again continue the video. It's going to download some resources from the internet, and make sure you are connected with the internet. So now you can see it's done quickly because my internet speed is fast. So just click on this close button to close the Gradle file, and we need to design something. So for that, to refactor it, because I don't like the activity main name because I just forget the name, to change it. So I'm going to click on rename, and here I'm going to name it as long story, and make sure all the things are in small letter. No symbols are allowed. To rename the file means to name the file of XML long story, and then again underscore app, then hit a refactor. I'm also going to create some packages. So right click on it, new, and then click on package. So this is going to be my adapters. Then again another package I want is a model class, that is for model, that is for our storage of the data files. Then the next thing that I want is activities. You can leave the activity, but I prefer to store the activities in a activities folder. This is best practice because it organizes your code. So I'm going to just drag this activity inside this activity package, and it will ask for the refactor. Just click on this refactor. It will change the location of the activity to the activities package. Now everything is done. Just click on this Java and then close it. Now the first thing that we want is to create this long story app XML file. So the first thing that we want is to create the long story app main XML file. So to do that, just click on this project tab, and just here select this text view and delete it because we don't need it. Then just simply select this constraint layout and change it to relative layout. Hit a tab key. Now you can see that our layout is changing. I'm also going to click on this preview button so that we can see the preview, and just remove this comment, that is the unhide line, because we don't need it. Now inside of this we need to place a one list view. So I'm going to do that by just click on this design tab. So it will take the XML design view, means that XML design. From there we can actually design the layout of our application by just in a graphical environment. So just search it here for list view. So here is our list view. Just simply select it and drag it inside this layout. So it will see that, you can see that it will take the whole space because the height and width of this list view is going to be match parent. Now just simply specify the ID here as list. Press enter key. Now it's time to click on this project tab and go to the values directory, expand it, and open the style.xml file. Hit on project tab, and just from there select the no action bar because I don't need any action bar to my application. Let's close this style.xml file because we don't need it anymore. Then go to the text. So you can see that just format it. So again just cut it from here and paste it at the top because I keep my IDs at the top of the every view. Now at this point of time we need another resource file. Means we need for the app bar, means I have removed the action bar, but we need a custom toolbar at the top of this screen. So to do that we need to create another resource file. So I'm going to do that. Just go to the res directory and add the layout folder. Just right click it, go to new, and then select the layout resource file. And from there type your toolbar name, that is toolbar, and here selected from the root element is also toolbar. So this is our toolbar. Select this V7 we get toolbar, just click it and then click OK. So you can see that we got a new toolbar XML file. Just click on the text tab and just make it little smaller. So you can see that it's now not properly indentation is done. And again I'm pressing Ctrl plus Alt L. It is not going to do that anything. So that's our toolbar. Just specify the ID to this toolbar, ID, then press tab key again. I'm going to name it as toolbar. Specify the background color to this toolbar, hashtag, and the best way to specify the color means the quickest way. You can use the color.xml file also. So it's actually going to be whole black. Just to change it, just click on this black square. A window will pop up. From there you can select the different colors. So I'm going to select this color or maybe this one. So I'm going to stick with this aqua color. That's look nice for me. Then for the height I'm going to select the wrap content. Simply press wrap content. Inside of this toolbar we want a one text view and a one image view. So simply click on this design tab, because through design we can quickly set the element inside our graphical layout. Just click on this text and then select the toolbar and place it here. So it's not going to take it directly, so it means that I need to type it manually. There is sometimes Android Studio gives the problem. So simply type here text view, because no problem, we can type it. It's a very little code. Just select wrap content and wrap content. And again press enter to make the code indentation properly, and then specify the ID, and ID I'm going to give it as like title, header toolbar title underscore title. Then the text I want to specify is a text property that is going to be long story app, and text style is going to be bold. Then text color is going to be pure white, but that white is not visible because our background color is also light. So I need to make the background color to purple, make a dark purple, or maybe like dark. You can experiment with the color, like I want this color, like so this color is okay for me. Now you can see the long story of text is appearing. Also we need to increase the text size. So just click on text size and here just select the 20 SP. Now make sure while giving padding and margin you use DP, and while giving text size you need to give SP, because most of the developers do this mistake. They use DP everywhere. For text size you need to use SP. And also we need to make the alignment, means the gravity. So I'm going to type here layout. Make sure the Android is also prefixed at the front of the property. Layout gravity is at center. Now you can see that it's appearing at the center, and that's look nice. Let's increase the padding to 20 to SP. So that's look nice. Now we need a one image view also. So for image view just type here image view and select it to wrap content, and make the enter here, also enter, and plus Ctrl Alt L to format the code. Then specify the layout height and width, because we don't want to make it a wrap content, otherwise the image is going to be destroy our layout, means it will actually come out of the layout. This again 25 dp. You can see that its little square is appearing. For this we need a vector asset. To insert a vector asset inside our project, just go to this drawable folder, right click on it, go to new, and then select from here vector asset. So click on this clip art. A new window will pop up. So from there just search for settings. So you get a settings here. Select it and click OK, and then click next. Click finish. You can see that it's actually added in our project. So I want a whiter one, so I just make it into full white. That's okay for me. Just close it. Type it as background, and it is actually a drawable, so it automatically suggests. So you can see that now our vector drawable is appearing, but we want it to be at the right hand side, not at the left hand side, because because the standard way, because in many applications you see that the settings is actually appearing at the right side of the toolbar, or maybe at the action bar if you are using it. So to do that, the first thing that I want is to, again we are going to make use of the layout gravity property. So just type here enter and type here. This I'm going to copy the code because it's almost same. Just copy this property layout gravity and paste it here, and instead of center just make it at right. Now it's actually appearing at the, now you can see that there is a problem if I zoom it. So you can see that it's actually at the very extreme of the right screen, right of the toolbar. So it's actually cutted little bit, so I need to make some margin from the right. So to do that, so I will type here margin from right, type it, and I am going to give the margin as 20 dp. Now it's solve our problem. So now our toolbar is ready, and just zoom out it. So now our toolbar is ready. It's time to include the toolbar into our this layout, that is layout story app.xml file. To include the toolbar inside the another layout file, we need to use a include tag. I will type here include. So through this we can reuse the same layout in many of the places. So I will type here layout Android ID, and the ID of the toolbar is toolbar. So that's why we specify the ID. Just make it close. Also we need to specify the layout, because the second attribute that this include tag takes is a layout. Layout, that is a, then from layout we have a toolbar. Now you can see that toolbar is appearing at our story XML file, means a long story app.xml file. So we have successfully added the toolbar as well. So in this lecture I am going to also add some more code. So the another thing that we want to do is add a one linear layout. So I am going to click on the design tab. So from there I am going to select the layouts, and I want a layout that is a linear layout vertical. So drag it at the relative layout hierarchy. So you can see that now linear layout is added, and inside of this linear layout I want a one text view. Just select the text view, and inside this linear layout just release it. Now click on this text and just go to, you can say that, now you can see that when I select the linear layout it's taking the whole space. That's because the height is set to be match parent by default. So we need to change it to wrap content. So now it's actually appearing at the top. Now it's not take the whole wrap content. Double click it. Just remove this extra spacing. Just select it. Now you can see that the linear layout is appearing at the top. So we need to make it at the below, like here. So to do that we need to use a property called align parent bottom. So simply type align, and it will automatically pop up the second one we needed, that is the align parent bottom to true. So you can see that now linear layout immediately jumps at the bottom of the screen. Also orientation we need to specify it like vertical. Okay, the orientation is already given. Here at the top I forget to see the. Also we need to specify the ID. So I will specify here ID, and I will type it here bottom. That's okay with the ID. Now it's time to modify the content of this text view. So first I am going to cut this ID and paste it at the top of the layout. Then here I will write a comment, means a text that I want to say, write a comment. I miss a R, so that's okay. Now we need to specify the next property, that is gravity, not layout gravity, it's a gravity property. So just simply select the gravity one and make it into center. Now you can see that our text is appearing at the center. I can show you, if I remove this property, then at the screen you can see that the text view is appearing at the left hand side of the text view. And now when I just again specify the gravity property, now immediately our text is inside the text view appearing at the center. Now we also need to modify the content of this text view, because right now it's appearing very small. So to do that, just first we need a property called text style, means text size. So the text size is going to be 16 sp. Also we need a padding property. So the padding I am going to specify is around 15 dp. You can see that it's appearing at a little bit bigger. Now our toolbar color is also purple, so we want the same color. So just go to the and copy this color code. You can use the color.xml file. That's a recommended approach by the developer. So for quickly specifying the color, I am going to use the direct way. Just paste it. Now our color is also appearing, but now we need to change the text color also, because right now black is not seeing properly. So just click it here and type it here, text color, specify hashtag FF. It's not appearing. Now this is because the application, sometime Android Studio doesn't render it properly, you know very well. So everything is now done. It's time to run the application to see that our layout is working fine or not. So just click on this run button. So I'm going to run it into my virtual emulator so that you can see that. So here you can see that our application is now successfully running. So you can see that the list view is not appearing, and this is because you can't insert the element directly inside the list view. You need to use a concept called adapters and a view, because we hand the view to the adapter, then adapter actually draw the view inside the list view. Now coming to this application, I also want to change the color of the status bar, because right now it's appearing green, dark green, so I don't like it. Just minimize it and open the colors.xml file. Then from there just change the color. So to do that, just copy this color code from there, that is the toolbar color code, and paste it here and also at here. Now it's time to again run the application to see the code in action. So here you go, our application is now again running. So now it looks almost good. Long story app, and both the color of status bar and our toolbar are same. So it looks nice, and you can see that the right comment is rendered properly, where you can see that inside the preview tab, now it's actually appearing, but when I just tap the video, you can just back forward the video and see that it's not appearing white properly. So now it is actually appearing very small, it's not seeable, so I'm just going to increase the little padding, not padding, it's actually I'm going to increase the size to 18 sp. Just again try to run and build the application to see the changes. So you can see that now it's appearing little bit better. So that's all about this lecture. In next lecture we are going to create our rest of the layout files. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from DynoCode Academy. So this is our part 3 of our long story app development series through Kotlin. Now in this lecture we are going to create a listview.xml file. So let's start it. So first, to create a file, just right click on this layout directory, go to new, and then click on this layout resource file. Then from there, just select the root element to relative layout, and then name the file as list underscore item, not time, it's actually item, and then simply press OK by pressing enter key. So you can see that now we got another file, that is a listview item.xml file. Now this file is actually used by our list view. Coming to this lecture, just double click on this listview.xml file and go to the text view, and from there we need to write some code. Now to specify the linear layout, I'm going to click on the design tab and select the layouts, and from there just select the linear layout, drag it inside the relative layout. You can see that the orientation is vertical, but I want a horizontal orientation. Just select the orientation is horizontal, and inside of this linear layout we want to specify the image view. So that's the COM one, we need it. So you can see that this is actually appearing because we have specified the dependency inside our build.gradle file. This is a dependency, that is a circular image view dependency, or you can see that the shape image view dependency. So just go to the list view item.xml file, just again after com dot, then you can see that you have different options of image view like pentagon image view, shader image view, bubble image view, diamond, whatever you like, just select it. So I'm going to select with this circular image view, just press enter key, just click on this project tab so that you can see everything clearly. Now you can see that it gives an error. This is because every view requires a two important property, that is height and width. So we need to specify height just like the other views we have specified. So that is the layout height required, you can see that. So the height is going to be wrap content and the width is also going to be wrap content. So you can see that it's appearing at very smaller at the screen. Now because we don't write any code here, you can see that it's appearing very smaller because right now it doesn't have any image. So instead of wrap content, I'm going to specify fixed size, that is 50 dp. And again for this one is also I'm going to specify it to 50 dp. Now it's appearing. Now we need to set some code to make it look like little better. So to do that, just simply type margin top, that is going to be 30 dp. Then margin left is going to be also 30 dp. And also margin right is also going to be 30 dp. That look nice. Now I want to make it clickable true. So select the clickable and select it true. So that's all about the code for the circular image view. Now we also want to place some more element inside this linear layout. So to do that, just click on the design tab, then from there just select text and drag a one text view inside this linear layout and then another text view inside this linear layout. Let's go to the text and from there let's first cut this ID, make it at the top, also cut this ID from here and make it at the top. Just specify this ID to specify the ID of this text view to title, and the ID of this text view is going to be time, and the ID of this circular image view is also going to be banner 1. Now it's time to modify the content of this text view. So the first thing that we need to do is here just change the height to wrap content. Now it's already in the wrap content, just change the width to 140 dp. So just type 140 dp. Then we need to specify some code. So for that, just simply type here text style is going to be bold and margin from top is going to be 20 dp. And text size is going to be 16 sp. So that's look nice. Also I want to change it to text color. So the text color I'm going to specify hashtag #F. Then from there just select the text color to this one. That one I wanted. Now you can see that this text view is appearing at the top. So we also need to type the same code for this text view. Just copy it and paste it inside this text view. Now you can see that both are appearing at the same level, but another thing that we want to do is reduce the text size to 14 sp, and the color is not going to be, instead the color of this text is going to be white. Now also we want a layout margin from left, means the margin left. So type here margin left is going to be 20 dp. Now here specify the background color to this relative layout, so hashtag 3 times 0, and then from there select the height to wrap content. Also the height of this linear layout is going to be wrap content. You can see that it looks like an item, but here we need to write more code. So to do that, just after the end of this linear layout, means this linear layout, just press enter key. Then type here view. Now the width of this view is going to be match parent and the height of this view is going to be 0.5 dp. Select and press enter key. Here type the ID of this view is going to be ID and then type it here view. Then we need to specify the margin top property, that is margin top, and margin top is going to be 50 dp. Then margin left is going to be 100 dp. And then we also want margin right is going to be 20 dp. And the background color is actually I want null. First I need to close it and then I need to specify the background color. So here specify the background color. So background color is going to be pure white. There is actually the sixth is required. That's the background color. Set it, so everything is now done. Similarly, we need another text view, so I'm going to copy this text view from there and paste it to make the development more faster. Then specify the ID to comment. Now you can see that this text view is appearing at here. So we need to make it at below. So to do that, what we need to do? We need to type layout. That is another property, layout below. So that is layout. That is below. Just press a tab key, and I want to specify the ID. So here just simply type ID and then type here view. Simply press tab key. Now you can see that now this text view appearing at the below of this view line. That is our view. So it is actually appearing here. But you can see that the padding is 20 dp. So we need to decrease the padding. So just go to the code, that is this one, and decrease the padding to 10 dp, not 100 dp. Just remove 10. And also we want the padding from left is going to be 100 dp. So just select the padding from 100 dp. Not padding is actually the margin left property. So the margin top I have changed it to 10 dp, and I need a margin from left. You can see that the margin from start, also these properties are now recommended in the new versions of the Android Studio by Google. So type here 100 and 100 dp, sorry, because the view dp is also 100 dp. Let's look nice. Now here we need to write some dummy text. So just I'm going to write some dummy text. So here you can see that I have added one dummy text inside this text view to see that how the actual layout is going to be look like when I enter the data. So now it's time to change the text color. So the text color is already changed. It's actually pure white, and the text size is also very good. So that's all about the coding for this text view. Now we also want another view line, means we need another view. So just copy it and paste it at the end. So just paste it here. So the ID I'm going to specify view 2. Then you can see that it's actually appearing at the same. Just first close it. The height of this, now this view is also going to be set like a layout below. We need to use the property again and then ID. So the comment ID is going to be used. So the comment, now you can see that the margin top is 50 dp. So we need to decrease it around 10 dp. 10 is not look nice, so I'm going to specify 20 dp. Margin from 20 dp. We also want a margin bottom. So let's go to the end. That is another property. So I also want a margin bottom. So the margin bottom is going to be 10 dp. So that's look nice. Now it's actually also the margin top left. Margin top is going to be 20 dp. Margin bottom is going to be 10 dp. So everything is working fine. Now here from left it gives us a warning. Instead of left we need to use a start and margin end. Similarly with this one, instead of margin left we need to use a margin start. So here actually two properties are used. Just delete this margin start. Okay, this margin start, just delete this margin left property because margin start we are already using. Similarly with this one, margin left changes to margin start, and the margin right to changes to margin end. And here just simply here also we need to change it to margin start. So that's all. Now everything is going to be done perfectly now. So that's all for our. Also add some dummy text here. This I'm typing here my name like this text view. Add some dummy text here instead of text view. So I will type here web developer, and this is going to be the time text view. So I'm going to add time like 25 minutes ago. So that's look nice guys. So that's all about this lecture. Now we have successfully created our list view item.xml file. So we are going to use this list view XML file in our upcoming lecture when we are going to set the adapters. So we have now successfully created our 3 XML files, that is toolbar.xml and listitem.xml and longstoryapp.xml. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from Code Academy. So this is our part 4 of our long story app development series through Kotlin. So in this lecture we are going to create the header layout for our app. So to do that we need to switch back to Android Studio. But before that we need to paste some images inside our drawable directory. So to do that just simply minimize the Android Studio. So I have already downloaded some images from the internet. So this is our images that we are going to use in this lecture. So you can use your own images, but make sure that the image dimensions is around 100 by 100 and the one image dimension should be 450 into 282. So these images I have downloaded from the Pixabay website, which provide the free images for your commercial projects, or you can use it whatever you want to do with these images. So I'm going to copy these images and just close this and go to the Android Studio again and right click at the drawable folder and I'm going to paste it here. Make sure you are pasting the drawable file inside your drawable directory, not in the drawable v24. Just click OK and then again click OK. So you can see that now images are appearing in our drawable folder. Let's close the images. Also just open the string.xml file and create a one string tag by pressing the Ctrl D at the end of the string line, and then you can see that it gives us an error because the name of both are same. Let's change the name here, long story text, and here we need to paste a long text that I have actually copied from the internet. So this is a lorem ipsum text that is used for the dummy text. So I'm going to cut it because I already pasted it, and here I'm going to paste it. So that's two things that we want before we need to start this lecture. Now everything is now done. Now to create a header.xml file, just right click on this layout folder, right click and go to new and then select the layout resource file. Then from there you simply type header and then press enter key. So you can see there now we have actually typed the code. So simply press project tab so that you can see everything clearly. So I'm making some indentation. Now I'm going to copy and paste the code because I have already developed the same application by using Java as well, and where I show you how to create this layout because the header.xml layout is very tricky. So this is the code. I'm going to copy it from the header.xml file. So just open it and Ctrl CV and I'm going to copy it by Ctrl C, close it, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is actually I have already specified the lecture, means I have already created this lecture inside the. Now if you want the step-by-step process how the header.xml file is created, then I highly recommend you to watch my Java series as well, where I have show you how to create the header.xml file step by step, because it's a very time consuming task and I have already developed the same lecture, because the only thing that is changed is the coding of the Kotlin project. The rest of the thing is almost same, like the header is almost same, means the XML file coding is almost same. You don't need to do it again manually. So now this is header.xml file is done, and I also want to change the text to color to purple. So for that just open the toolbar.xml file and from there just copy this text code and open the header.xml file again and paste it here. Ctrl V. So you can see that now it's purple. So that's all about this lecture. In next lecture we are going to start the coding of our activities, means we are going to create the model class adapter, and then we are going to call all of these things inside our main activity and pass the data to our list item, and then list item will be drawn to our list view. So that's all about this lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from Code Academy. So this is our part 5 of our long story app development series. So in this lecture we are going to add the main logic to our application. So let's start this lecture. So head back to your Android Studio. So far we have actually developed the designing of our application. So in this lecture we are going to start the coding part of our long story app. So double click on this main activity. Then first we are going to declare some arrays and some variables that we are going to use inside this activity. So just making some enter. So here I am going to type var and then I will type here title. Then after that we need to initialize this title to array of variable. And this is the third one that we needed, that is array of. Now just close this because the new Kotlin version updated is came out. Now we need to initialize some value inside of this array. So the thing that we are initialize, so the way that Android, so to initialize the value inside of this array, you need to write double quotes and then enter some dummy data, just like that. Then we also want another array, so again I'm going to type var, then again here it will be of profile. For storing the images, we are going to use a profile and equals to, now this will equals to integer array, so I will type here integer int array of, so this is a thing that we wanted, and then we need to initialize it like r dot drawable dot and then the name of our image. So the image name is actually, this A is actually stand for the image name. So let me show you. So this is the image that this A represents. Then we want another array that is of var, and it should be of time equals to, now time is actually in string, so we need a array of that holds the string value, so it will be like 25 minutes ago. Then we want another array variable, so that will be of var comment equals to, and it should be of array of the third one that we need to press enter key, and here initialize some dummy data. Now I'm going to add more dummy data inside of this array, so then I will be continuing the video. So here you can see that I have now initialized all the arrays with some dummy data. Now it's time to create a new model class inside this model package. So right click on this model package and create new Kotlin file. Just here name this Kotlin file story class. So I will type it here story class, then hit OK. So it's not going to be file, it should be a Kotlin class. Then hit OK. And here inside of this class, what we are going to do is simply we are going to change it into parentheses, then type here val, and I will going to declare a title, then press not, we don't want a title dialog, just simply a scope resolution operator, that is a colon, then type it here string, then hit enter key and then press comma, and then again here type val, then profile colon, and then again type here string comma, and then press enter key. Then we also want another variable, that is val. So profile is going to be int, not integer, not string, so type it here int instead of. Then for time, type here time and then colon, and again type here string. Then another fourth one we require, that is val, and then it should be of comment, again scope resolution operator, and it is of type string. So just remove this package because it is not required. So we have now created the model class successfully. So in Kotlin, this is the way that we create the model class. It is more compact code as compared to Java. Now inside of main activity we have initialized all of our arrays. So in next lecture we are going to create the adapter, and then we are going to pass the data to that adapter. So we are going to do that in the next lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from Code Academy. So this is our part 6 of our long story app development series. So in this lecture we are going to create the adapter in our application. So let's start this lecture. So right click on this adapter and go to new, and then here select the Kotlin file or a class. Then change it to Kotlin class and name your class like list view adapter. Then press enter key, and this is the class we are going to use it. Now before that, just here I am going to open some braces, and then I will type here private, that should be of val, and then here I will type the mContext variable that actually extends the context class. Now hit a tab key. Then also we want a second parameter. Now this is actually the member variables that its class using. So in Kotlin we are going to do that. In Java we actually do that in here at the body of the class, like here, but in Kotlin the things are a little bit changed. Then here we are going to press enter key, and then I will type here private again, and then val. Then I will create the variable of a story class. I will type here story array list that extends the array list, and then it will hold the data of type story class. Okay, so the name of story is actually, so we need to refactor it. That's why it is not taken, because the name is actually incorrect. Then click on the refactor. Then it will ask us to import the package. So here you go, now the error is gone. Then after completing, then this press will be closed here. Then this will actually extend the base adapter. This is the adapter that we want. Hit a tab key. Now you can see that it immediately underlines the class and this base adapter. This is because we need to override some methods. So we need to override methods, that is, so here we will type override. So this is the methods that this adapter has. So I'm going to override one by one all of the method. And again get item, hit a tab key. And again, now in Java we can simply just click on this bulb icon, then it shows us to the option to override the method, but somehow in this Kotlin variant it doesn't show that process. Now all the methods are invoked, but here it still shows an error. So we have get item, get count, get view. Also we need to add here, no, I forgot to add the brackets as well. Now the error is gone. Now we have successfully override all the methods. Now inside of this we are going to write the command. So first I'm going to remove this to do. Let me give some time to remove these to do's. So now I have removed the to do's successfully. Now inside of this we are going to write some code. So first, instead of this get count, I will type a return statement, that is return. Press the return key. Then here I will write a story class. This is a story array list dot size. Now in Java we use the methods, but in Kotlin we have properties. Then in get item method we are going to again type here return, hit a tab key, and then again type story. Again I am making mistake in the story class, and here it will take the array brackets, and then here type position. Now the position is actually the parameter of this method. And instead of this get item id method, again type return, type here position dot to long. Now instead of this get view method, we will do all the code that will actually perform the list view operation. But before that we need to create a inner class. So to do that, just simply type here at the end of this method, we will type here private, and then I will type here inner class, and then it should be of name view holder. Then start the bracket of this class. Then here we will type some variable name. So I will type here internal. So the first thing that I am going to do is going to create some variables. So I am going to type var. Then here I will type convert view. So convert view, then it actually equals to convert view. And it's going to equal to convert view. Now this convert view is actually here. We are going to initialize this variable. Then the next thing I am going to do is create another variable of val. And then this is actually view holder, and is equals to capital view holder. Now this actually not equals to, it actually extends the view holder not equals to. So this view holder we are actually initializing creating the variable of type view holder class, and this is a convert view we have initialized into convert view. Now we need to make some comparison. So type here if, and then type here convert view. That's the convert view, that is this variable. We are going to use it to make the comparison. If it is equal to null, then we want to initialize the convert view. So I will type here val, and then type here layout inflator. That is a layout inflator, and it's going to equals to capital layout inflator. That is a class name. Then from, and type here mContext. That is a context variable we have specified at the top of this class, this one. Coming back to our line of code, then after doing that we need to press enter. Then here type convert view again, and equals to layout inflator, and type here layout inflator dot inflate, and here we need to pass the layout in which our list view item. So type here layout dot list underscore. So first we need to import this R package, that is R, and then we need to type the name of our layout. So R dot layout. So it's not going to take in the layout, so first I am just going to look at my layout, it exists. So this is the layout list item. So I'm going to type here list underscore item. So that's the layout we need to pass inside this inflate method. The next thing we need to do is actually the second parameter, that is of parent. That and attached to root is false. So that's the thing so that marks the end of this line of code. Now press enter key again, and then we need to create a variable of a view holder. So I'm going to type here view holder, and that is equal to view holder class. Now we have initialized the view holder successfully, means we inflate the layout, and now we have initialized it into convert view, and now with the, and also we have created the view holder. Now with the help of this convert view variable, we are going to, now with the help of this view variable and convert view variable, we are going to set the data to our list view item, that is this one. So we are going to do that, this thing. So again just switch to list view adapter file, and here just simply type view.holder dot time, and then equals to convert view dot, now before that we need to type here 2 times the sign of exclamation, that is the operator, that then we will type find view by id. Then here this find view by id is of type view. Then we need to specify r dot id dot the id of our time, and then it should be of as text view. Then we need to make it 2 times duplication. Then I'm going to change the name of the variable. Instead of time we need a title, and then here we need a comment. The third one is actually comment. It's not taking the comment. Okay, so here actually I make a typo. Now the error is gone. Also I need to change the ID. The ID is also title, and the comment ID is comment. Then the third one we needed is, now the last one we needed is actually view holder dot profile, that is this fourth one, and it should be of equals to, again convert view dot find view by id, it should be of type view, not cvv, it should be of type view, and here we need to pass the id, that is r dot id dot, and then its id is actually banner 1, and it should be of as image view. So now the initialization of the code is done. Now we need to initialize the convert view to this view holder variable. So to do that, convert view equals to convert view dot tag equals to view holder. So what I did if convert view is equal to null, so we need to initialize the convert view. So the first we create the variable of the layout inflator, means the object of the layout inflator, you can say that. Then with this convert view we initialize the layout inflator to our, means we initialize the layout, means we are inflating the layout from the XML to our Java, so that we can make the use of that inflator file, means the XML file inside our Java to create different kinds of views. And after that we initialize all the data to our text view and image views, means whatever view we have, then we set the convert view to our view holder. Now else we also want to do something. So if view is not equal to null, then what we need to do, we need to simply initialize the view holder. Now after if both of these conditions fulfill, means either of the block is executed, then we want to do something else. Then we want to get the data from the model class. So to do that, just simply press enter key here and type here val and type here story class equals to get item, and here type position, and then it should be of as story class. Similarly, now it's with the help of the story class object, we are going to access all the data members of this story class. So let's start doing that. So simply type first view holder, that is our name of our view class variable, view holder dot title, and again type 2 times sign of exclamation dot text and equals to story class dot title. Then here type 3 times duplication of this code, and then instead of last one, the first change the variable. So the first I'm going to change it to time, and also this is going to be time, and this is going to be comment, and this is also going to be comment. Then instead of title, here we need to type here profile, and this is not a text, so we need to change it into set image resource. This one we need it. Then inside of this, just cut it. Here type story class dot profile. So that marks the completion of the code to get the data from the model class. Then here we need to return at the end, type here return, and then here type convert view. So that's all about the coding for our adapter class. In next lecture we are going to use the adapter, means pass the data from main activity. This all the data we are going to pass to our adapter class, and then this adapter class does what? It with the help of story class and the context variables, it's going to create some views, and then our application is going to run. So we are going to do that in the next lecture. Welcome to this lecture. This is Vijay from DynoCode Academy. Now this is the part 7 of our long story app development series. So in this lecture we are going to pass the data from main activity to our adapter, so that adapter can use the data and sets the different view inside our list view. So let's start this lecture. So first head back to Android Studio. Here we are going to create some more variables. So first type here private and var, and it should be your story. So the first variable that we need is a story class variable and story class. Then it should be extends array list. Now this array list will hold the data of type story class. So type it here story class, which is the name of our model class. Then here type a question mark. Then again press enter. Then again type private var, and the another variable that we need is a list view adapter variable, and it should hold the type of list view adapter. Then it is also going to check for the null safety and check reference. The full name is actually like this, so type it here question mark. Now again I'm not going to repeat it again and again. I'm just simply going to type it, then it will be clear to you. It's not going to equal to null. Then the another variable we need it is actually private, and it should be of type, and it is of list view variable, so I will type it here ls. It will extend the list view, and it is not going to equal to again question mark and then equals to null. Then latent var variable, which is used to lf, which is for layout inflator, and then type here layout inflator, that is the third one we need it, and simply press enter. Then again latent var, and this should be of header view. The header view, let's make it capital so that it will become easily readable, the camel case typing. And here I will type here view. The second one we need it because it is a view that will be displayed at the top of our list view. So that's all. This is the 5 variables we need it inside our main activity. Now inside of the onCreate method, we need to initialize the list view. So I will type here ls equals to find view by id, not func. It should be find view by id, r dot id dot, and then the id of our list. So that is a list. Just checking it. Yeah, the id of the list view is list. Switch to main activity again. And here it's time to initialize the layout inflator. So type here lf equals to, and then here type this dot layout inflator variable name. Then simply press a tab key. So this will initialize the layout inflator variable that we have declared here. And here we need to initialize the header view, means we are going to set the header view. So it's going to equal to header view equals to lf dot inflate. So we are going to inflate the view again. Then I will type here r dot layout. So the layout name is actually our header. That's it. Now this header is actually the layout that we have declared. So this is going to be displayed at the top of our list view. So where is our long story f? So this is our list view. So at the top of the list view, first the header will be displayed, then at the end of the header, means after we scroll the header, then a list view will be appear. So that's why we are actually writing this code to inflate the layout inflator. With the help of layout inflator, first we are going to inflate the header and then we are going to display into the list view. After that, we need to pass some more parameters to this inflate method. So the next parameter I'm going to pass it null, then again comma, that is the root, then the attach root to false. So this is all, and this should be of as view because we have declared, we need to typecast into view. And now why we are going to typecast into view? This is because the header view is of type view variable. And simply press enter, and then here type ls, not less, it's actually ls symbol, then semi, and 2 types and exclamation, then dot, and we need to call a method add header view. So that is the method we need it, and we need to pass the view variable. So the view variable is header view, comma, the second parameter is going to be null, and then again comma, and the last parameter is going to be boolean variable that can take only 2 values, either false or true. I pass it here false, then press enter. Now it's time to set the data for our list view. So the first thing that we need to initialize the story class variable to the array list, because at the top we have actually only makes the declaration of our story class variable. So equals to, it is going to be like a array list. So the story class variable is actually declared at the top, you can see that here, and we actually initialize into the array list so that it can take the data in a form of list view. Let's press enter key. Now I'm going to use a for I loop. So type a for and then I equals to in, and here type title dot indexes. So this is a syntax for writing a for loop inside the Kotlin. If you are not familiar, first we actually type the variable name, then with the help of this in, and then we are going to use title, through which we are going to compare. You can use it any other name here, like now I'm going to use a title. You can also use a comment, or also you can, because all the elements are actually 8, so there are 8 images, 8 timeline, 8 comment messages, and 8 actually titles. So you can use it whatever you want. There is no such restriction. Just for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to use a title. Or you can also initialize the size of the variable into here. Just create another random variable here, and you can initialize it and then pass that variable to here. So it's up to you how you want to change the logic, but for the simplicity and less code, I'm going to directly use the title variable here. Instead of this, I will type here well, press the tab key, and then the story class variable name, that is story class, equals to, now the again capital story class, that is the model class name. There is a class name. This is actually the variable name, and this is actually the class name. So I just make my variables name to smaller case. Just all the variables now started with the smaller case, and my classes name are actually all capital letters with camel case typing. So that makes the differentiate between the objects and the variables. Then inside of this we need to pass the array. Now this is actually the constructor. So first I am pass here title, and then here with the array brackets we are going to pass the index. Then second we need to pass the profile. Here I will type profile, that is this one, then again array brackets and then I. Then the second one means the third one, again time. If press time, it is not equal to time, it is actually, we are actually dealing with the arrays, not variable. Singleton variables means a single variable, and it is of type comment, and here it will be taking as I. After initializing, after passing the array to the story class, then it's time to press enter key and here type story class, that is again the variable of object variable name, and type some exclamation. Then with the help of dot add, now we are going to add the element to our array list. So here type, now this is not going to take the, now I made a mistake here, this is actually a local variable. So here type it here ob. Now this is actually the local variable that we have initialized again, and this is our parent variable. So we can't initialize two times a global variable and local variable. Now this is actually a global variable because it is declared at the top, and inside the for loop we also need the same variable that can hold the type of the data of story class. So this is actually a local variable, and through this local variable all data holds inside of this local variable. Then with the help of this local variable we are going to add the data to our story class. So here we need to pass the story. So I made a mistake, now I correct it. So that's it. Now you can see that it gives us an error. So here we need to have two types of sign of exclamation. Now this is actually used to check for the null values. Now Kotlin has very strict rule for checking the null values. So that's all for the coding for the for loop. Now at the end of the for loop we are going to set the first list view adapter. So here we will type list view adapter equals to, and type here list view adapter, and then we will pass the data. So first I will type here this. Then the second parameter that I will pass is a story class. Story class, and then with two sign of exclamation. Then it's time to set the adapter to our list view. That is list. So I'm going to type ls and two times sign of exclamation, and then dot adapter, and then equals to the variable or name of the list view adapter. So now all the coding is done. I hope that everything is working fine. Now it's time to run the application to see the code in action. So I'm going to run it into my virtual emulator. So this is my virtual emulator that is running a API 28, which is Android Pie. So I'm going to click it OK. So here you can see that our application is now running. So this is how our application looks like. This is a list view is now displaying, and also you can see that at the top the header view is actually displaying. So this is our header. Let me show you the header. So this is our header.xml file, means the header view that is actually displaying at the top of the list view, and this is our header bar, means this is our toolbar that is actually we have created here. This toolbar is actually now appearing at the top, and you can see that. And then at the below you can see that the list view, that all the data, that is list view. So all the data is displaying. So now our application is running fine, and you can see that it's look nice. So you can experiment it with this application whatever you want. So that's all about this video.